Welcome, have a nice day. Today is Friday, 15th of November 2024. In honor of the Guru Nanak Jayanti Banks in Memorials, Indian states will remain closed on Friday, November 15, 2024. The annual celebration, also known as Guru Nanak Guru Purab, marks the birth anniversary of the Guru Nanak, the revered founder of Sikhism. Now, starting the newspaper with the world news, we have Trump picks former congressman Doug Collins as a secretary of Veterans Affairs. Trump picks his lawyer Todd Bellance for Deputy Attorney General. Donald Trump announces RFK Jr. as United States Health Secretary. Brazil judge suicide bomber intended to blow up Supreme Court. Concerns grow as malaria drug resistance found among the African children. Canadian cities banned protests in front of places of worship after Hindu temple attacks. Now briefly, starting with the Hindu newspaper, Manohar Parikar. Including the possible meeting between the Rajnath Chinese counterpart and the ASEAN Defense Minister meet in Laos next week. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh addresses an event in New Delhi on November 12, 2024. This development comes after the resumption of the patrolling in the both areas of the line of actual control (LAC) recently. There could be a possible meeting between the Defense Minister Rajnath Singh and his Chinese counterpart Admiral Dong Jun, who are both scheduled to attend the ASEAN Defense Ministers meeting in Laos next week. This presence on the same platform comes just after the disengagement at Depsang and Demchok and the resumption of the patrolling in the both areas of the line of actual control. Mr. Singh will visit Laos from November 20 to 2022 for the 11th ASEAN Defense Ministers meeting, plus ADMM plus officials confirmed. Last month, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Chinese President Xi Jinping held their first informal bilateral meeting in the 5 years on the sidelines of the BRICS summit in Kazan, during which they welcomed the agreement for the resolution of the military standoff at a line of actual control announced just the previous week. Mr. Modi told Mr. Xi, in his opening remarks, that maintaining peace and stability on the border should be a priority for the both sides. High Court dismisses man's plea against arrest in 2023 protesting at Indian High Commission in London. In this combo photo ride, the Indian national flag hosted at the Indian High Commission left a protester chanting pro-Khalistani slogans attempted to grab the tricolour in London, UK. Inderpal Singh Gaba, a resident of the United Kingdom, was arrested in April month. He was later arrested by NIA on April 25, 2024. The Delhi High Court has rejected a petition filed by a man facing prosecution in a case related to the 2023 protests at the Indian High Commission in London, challenging his arrest and remand orders. The court rejected the petition of Inderpal Singh Gaba, resident of Hounslow in the United Kingdom, who was arrested in April month by the National Investigation Agency (NIA) for illegally carrying out unlawful activities during the protests that took place on March 22, 2023 in London. Sky is the limit for the development of tribalists. President Draupadi Murmu said India could become truly developed only when the tribal communities were developed. Draupadi Murmu lauded the union government for making development of tribal communities a national priority. President Draupadi Murmu on Thursday, November 14, 2024 said India could become truly developed only when the tribal communities were developed. In a televised address to the nation on the eve of the birth anniversary of the Bhagwan Birsa Munda, celebrated as the Janjayatiya Gaurav Devas, Ms. Murmu lauded the union government for making the development of tribal communities a national priority. Now going to the Hindustan Times newspaper, states that socio-economic equality is the key, not caste divisions. Nitin Gadkari. HTLS 2024 Union Minister Nitin Gadkari said the government has increased the domestic happy human index by protecting the ecology and environment and by reducing air, water and land pollution. New Delhi. Union Minister for Road and Transport and Highways Nitin Gadkari was in conversation with the Hindustan Times national political editor and Bureau of Chiefs Sunit Chaudhary at an online session of the 22nd Hindustan Times Leadership Summit. Their conversation spanned infrastructure, environment, and politics of the home state Maharashtra, which goes to the polls on November 20. A country where water, power, transport, and communication are developed attracts capital investment, which leads to an increase in industries, trade, and business. Per capita income increases and poverty reduces. Therefore, better infrastructure is important for the country's development and progress. For example, we reconstructed the old highways between Delhi and Dehradun, which increased the number of pilgrims by 2.5 times. This led to the creation of the business ecosystem and taxis, buses, restaurants, and hotels, and created employment. Robert F. Kennedy, Jr., anti-vaccine activist. Donald Trump, Speaker of our United States Health Secretary. Robert F. Kennedy. U.S. President-elect Donald Trump nominated anti-vaccine activist Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to be the chief of the Department of the Health and Human Services under his administration. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., or RFK, whose views on public health have often been termed as dangerous, will be tasked with overseeing drug, vaccine, and food safety, medical research, and social safety net programs. Announcing the same on his side, Truth Social, Donald Trump said on Thursday, "For too long, Americans have been crushed by the industrial food complex and drug companies who have engaged in deception, misinformation, and disinformation when it comes to public health." Kennedy, Donald Trump said, would end the chronic disease epidemic and make America great and healthy again. Pollution choke is on Delhi again. The capital recorded a 24-hour air quality index of 424 at 4 p.m. worse than the reading of the 418 at the same time on Wednesday, showed data from the Central Pollution Control Board. Delhi's pollution was firmly in the severe zone of the air quality index AQI for a second straight day on the Thursday, as calm winds amplified the effects of the local pollutants and the stubble fire smoke shattered this capital in the dome of the 50th degree, hurling residents into an unmitigated public health disaster and underscoring the incompetence of agencies and officials who once again failed to fend off a nightmare that haunts the city every year. Now, going towards the economy of the country from the business point of view, Indian economy sailing smoothly on the strong macroeconomic fundamentals. Stable financial system, RBI Governor Shaktikant Das. In October month, the total consumer price index CPI accelerated to a 14-month high of 6.21% compared to 5.5% in the month of September. RBI Governor Shaktikant Das made the comments on Thursday. After 10% fall in 7 weeks, the market trajectory still a cause for worry amid foreign selling. This FPI sell-off was primarily on account of expensive valuation in India, relocation of funds to China, and optimism about United States markets, according to the Vineet Sachdeva. Huge investment by domestic institutional investors prevented a big crash in the market in the month of October. India's stock market has taken a hit, plummeting 10% due to the combination of domestic and global factors in the last 7 weeks. Foreign investors are pulling out of the Indian market, withdrawing over Rs 1.40 lakh crore since October this year. This massive sell-off has hampered the market sentiments, despite heavy buying of domestic funds and institutions. To make matters worse, corporate performance has been declining, and high inflation is threatening to eat into the profits. Rain in consumer spending and delay a cut in interest rates. Market worries seem to have exacerbated with the latest inflation print, adding to the concerns of the growth slowdown, while the expectations of the Reserve Bank of India interest rate cut gets pushed further into the early financial year 2026. Stronger US dollar and higher US Treasury yields after Donald Trump's victory is a double whammy for Indian markets, already reeling a record foreign outflows. Going to science and tech, we have the Conference Party 29 basic countries ask rich nations of honor commitments for climate finance rather than diluting obligations. Basic countries, including India, have asked the developed countries to honor their commitments to provide climate finance rather than diluting obligations and rejected attempts by the rich nations to shift their financial responsibilities during the negotiations at the ongoing Conference of Party 29. As the annual climate change summit entered the fourth day, basic Brazil, South Africa, India, and China also reiterated the need to fully implement the Paris Agreement 2015, a legally binding international treaty. Basic countries, including India, have asked developed countries to honor their commitments to provide climate finance rather than diluting obligations and rejected attempts by the rich nations to shift their financial responsibilities during the negotiations at the ongoing Conference of Party 29 here. As the annual climate change summit entered the fourth day on Thursday, November 14, 2024, Brazil, South Africa, India, and China basically also reiterated the need to fully implement the Paris Agreement 2015, a legally binding international treaty. Pharmacists issue caution over the online platform for drug delivery. Chemists and doctors say that the government must take call on policies to govern the operation of online pharmacies. A recent move to deliver medicines through a food delivery platform in the Bangalore has raised concerns of patient safety. While pharmacists are vociferously objecting to the move, even doctors are cautious. The announcement has been yet met with a stiff resistance from chemists and druggists associations. They are flagging several issues, including violation of laws governing their trade. Chemists and doctors say the government must take a call on policies to govern the operation of online pharmacies. The Tamil Nadu Chemists and Druggists Association President S.A. Ramesh says such a move violates the Drugs and Cosmetics Act of 1940. As per the rules, medicine should be dispensed by qualified pharmacist after the verification of the prescription. He points out, we are against online sale of drugs. It's not as simple as buying groceries. We are talking about the life-saving medicines. The corporates are using this as a commercial exercise, which is wrong, he argues. The neighborhood pharmacist has known the family for several decades and will ensure their well-being. The pharmacist's role is to instruct the patient on the method of taking the drug. We check for the authenticity of the prescription before dispensing a drug. In the case of online platforms, how do we know if the pharmacist is dispensing the prescribed drug in the right dosage, he asks us. On the heels of the World Diabetes Day, the story of insulin discovery and the flame of hope. In a human physiology, the endocrine glands are active by releasing chemical messengers called hormones. They are produced in extraordinarily small quantities, ranging from 10⁻⁹ to 10⁻12 grams. They travel through the blood stream to influence the distant organs and tissues, guiding bodily functions. Nervous and endocrine systems carry out a common mandate to transmit the brain's instructions to peripheral organs and the tissues. Unlike the nervous system, which operates through a network of neurons, the endocrine system executes the brain orders across the body without an anatomical network. The pancreas holds a unique position as both an endocrine and exocrine organ. It plays an important role in managing blood sugar levels through insulin. Sir Frederick Banting's birth anniversary is observed as the World Diabetes Day on November 14. It was yesterday. Every year, as a tribute to the history behind the discovery of the insulin, one of the medicine's greatest breakthroughs. At last, there is a famous quotation by a famous Islamic philosopher known as Allama Iqbal, Sir Muhammad Iqbal. Birth anniversary 9 November 1877 up to 21st of April 1938. Was a South Asian Islamic philosopher, poet, and politician. His poetry is considered to be among the greatest of the 20th century, and his vision of cultural and political ideal for the Muslims of British rule India is widely regarded as having animated the impulse of the Pakistan movement. He is commonly referred by the honorific Allama, Persian Allama, and widely considered one of the most important and influential Muslim thinker and a Western religious philosopher of the 20th century. An ardent proponent of the political and spiritual revival of the Muslim world, particularly of the Muslims in the Indian subcontinent. The series of the lectures Iqbal delivered to this effect were published as The Reconstruction of Religious Thoughts in Islam in 1930. He was elected to the Punjab Legislative Council in 1927 and held several positions in the All India Muslim League. In his Allahabad address delivered at the League's annual assembly in 1930, he formulated a political framework for the Muslim majority regions spanning northwestern India, spurring the League's pursuit of the two-nation theory. In August month of 1947, 9 years after the Iqbal's death, the partition of India gave way to the establishment of Pakistan, a newly independent Islamic state in which Iqbal was honored as the national poet. He is also known as the Pakistani Society as a Hakim ul-Ummat, the wise man of the Ummah, and the Mufakkir-e-Pakistan, the thinker of the Pakistan. The anniversary of his birth, Yawm Wiladat Muhammad Iqbal, 9 November, is observed as the public holiday in Pakistan. Iqbal says a very famous quotation. He says that with faith, discipline, and selfless devotion to duty, there is nothing worthwhile that you cannot achieve. Okay, thank you.